What's going on, YouTube? My name is Young Mozzie. I'm a producer here out of New York City. Chances are, if you clicked on this video, you want to start learning how to make music. You don't know nothing about no music theory. You don't know nothing about FL Studio. Pretty much a lot of tutorials I found on YouTube are confusing or they're moving too fast, you know. You gotta kind of break it down simple, start out slow. Hopefully by the end of this tutorial, you can hop right into FL and just start going crazy, no cap. Let's hop right into it. You open FL Studio, it should look something like this, what's on my screen right now. We're gonna start over here. These buttons up here are pretty much what you need, and I only really use the first four. Now to start with the first one, this that you're looking at with all these squares, the tracks and the numbers, this is known as the playlist. So basically, whenever you make a song, a rap or a beat or anything, this is where the song will be. So like if I press play, you see like the line is going, that's where your track is gonna be. So when you start making a beat or a song, these were all your own files are gonna be placed. To break it down to you simple, it's known as the piano roll. And basically this is where you would type in your notes. So like a piano is known as a MIDI. Don't worry, I'm gonna break this down in my other future videos on like how to use this fully. But since this is just showing you what each button does for now, we're gonna leave that alone. But that's the piano roll. So whenever you got an instrument like a piano on your rack or keyboard or anything, this is where your notes will be. But we went through the playlist and the piano roll. Now we're gonna view the channel rack. The channel rack and the piano roll go hand in hand to an extent. So each one of these is an instrument or a drum. This is where all your plug-in VSTs that you will use to make a beat will be. So if you have a piano, it'll be here. If you have an arpeggio, it will be here. If you're using a pad, it will be here. So to make this less confusing, let me delete these real quick. If you want to use an instrument, let's say, let me just open up FL Keys. This comes with FL Studio, so if you just got FL Studio, don't worry, this comes with it. And go to the piano roll, like I was telling you about earlier, where we can actually start typing in the beat. For this tutorial, I'm just gonna type in something random. I'm not really gonna try to make a beat. Hear how you can hear the notes? Okay, it also works for the drums. If you have a drum, I'll just put in a random drum that I got to show you. See, look, it's an 808. You could do the same thing in the 808, you know, type a random note. You know, in future videos, I'm gonna break it down how to go crazy. Just watch this video fully so you can understand everything. This is the mixer. So if you were paying attention, you might have realized over here that before I deleted them, that they had numbers on these, on the kick and the clap that I had there previously. These numbers correspond with the mixer. So if I put FL Keys on number 1, when I go over here to the mixer, FL Keys will be playing on number 1. So each one of these is a different spot for a different instrument that you could put. So if I wanted FL Keys on 1, and let's say I wanted the 808 on 10, see, you could adjust it. And this, you could control your volume from here. So let me just type something random into the 808. So you can hear it. See how 1 is playing the piano and then 10 is playing the 808? Over here, this one that says master is the master audio for everything. So both of these, 1 and 10's audio, are both coming out at 10 together. Whereas if I turn off the light on 10, you will just hear the piano, but it still comes up in the master because the master is everything. Also, you may have noticed these slots here. These are where you insert your effects, special effects for a beat. All of these are different effects. So whatever effect you want to insert, notice how if I do this, it'll only affect the piano. If I put it on the master, for example, it's gonna do it to both because master is everything. If I lower the master, everything gets lowered. If I lower one, only the piano gets lower. Sorry, it may seem like I'm going a bit slow, but trust me. If you just clicked onto FL for the first time, like when I first did, I was hella confused. So now that we know what these four do, let me explain to you up here what these little buttons up here do. First, this one is the pattern and song change. So I'm gonna put this. You hear how you hear the piano and the 808 playing, but you don't see the green line here. When this is on pattern, it's only playing what's in your patterns in your channel rack. Number 3 up here. If I was to change it to song, see how you don't hear nothing no more? So for you to get it over here, which is pattern 1, the same pattern where I put the piano and the 808, if you drag it over here, now you hear it. So that's what the pattern and song do. Now this is the play button. So when you press it, it plays whatever you have in queue, and this is the stop. So I press it, it stops. There's also a way to hotkey this with your space bar. And this little red button up here is the record button. So if you wanted to record, yeah, pretty much it's self-explanatory. It's record. So if you wanted to manually record an instrument or something like that, you would use this. This right here is the tempo, or also known as the BPM, which is beats per minute. This basically affects the speed of your entire song. So the higher it is, the higher your song's tempo will be. Your song's tempo will be. The slower it is, obviously the slower it will be. Pretty simple stuff. Now we're gonna hop over here, which is the metronome. You hear that little clicking thing? The metronome goes hand in hand with the tempo. It's used as a guide to make sure that I'm gonna turn this up. See how the metronome is faster now? It's clicking faster because the tempo is higher, so the beats per minute have to be higher or faster. Whereas if I turn it down severely, pretty sure you get it. These over here, but these I don't really use too much. If you're just starting out, you don't really need to know too much about these. I've been using FL for a long time and I never really had to use any of these, to be honest. So we're gonna skip over those, keep it simple for you. If you click on file, you can open a new project. You can save your project. You can export your project. These are your recent projects. If you're new, you don't have any, you could start a new project. Here's where you go, like if you wanted to edit something. So like if you wanted to cut something, copy, paste, edit here. Add is to add an effect or a plugin to use. This is the patterns tab, which you can also find right here. And this is your options settings. I'm not gonna go too in depth with the options because it'll get kind of confusing, but the only one I'm gonna focus on for right now is audio and general. Well, not really general, audio. First you gotta select your device. If you using an audio interface, it'll pop up here. Right now I'm not using an audio interface, so I'm using FL Studio ACO. Pretty much if you have FL Studio ACO or primary sound driver, you could use those. But an audio interface is recommended for better sound, unless you got a computer that's pretty good on CPU and stuff. Right here is where you could adjust your buffer length. Pretty much, if you got a strong computer that can handle it, put it as high as you can. If you see that your computer starts lagging, or you know your computer is not that strong, I would recommend leave it like in the middle. But it's all out of experimenting. So just mess around with it. If you notice that your FL Studio seems to crash, or it's lagging, or it's going too slow. Also, you gotta be careful with having it too low, because if you have it too low, you might hear like a crackling sound. So if you're having some weird like technical issues, it's good to mess around with the buffer length, because it could be that you might have it on a bad spot. Over here, this is the input and the output. If you have a microphone connected, you'll see it here. Pretty much if you want to start recording like a rap, or recording a song off of FL, you would obviously put your mic there. If you have an audio interface, it automatically does it for you. All you have to do is just put the device as audio interface. So before you start doing anything, I'd recommend you come to these settings and set it up accordingly to your system. Now, the file tab is pretty important. In the file tab, if you start downloading drum kits from the internet, over here you see how mine has drum kits and stuff. Let me collapse it. This is how it would look normally, but I added my documents folder, which is right here, and then you'll see that I have all my other stuff here, like drum kits. Just basically anything that you have in that folder, FL Studio will recognize it here. So if you got drum kits in a folder, you would want to add it here. To add it, this will be blank when you first come in. You'll click on that and just find the folder in your PC and add it there. And then once it recognizes it, it'll pop up here. Just make sure that you press reread as like a refresh button. Pretty much for starting out, that's pretty much it.